5. The Fun Crafts Come Visiting. Mama! Papa! Said Annabelle breathlessly. You'll never guess what we found. Oh, we have so much to tell you. We found other dolls, exclaimed Bobby. No, I want to tell, said Annabelle. You can't tell everything, said Bobby. Shush, 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 said Mama Doll softly. I think this should wait until later in the morning when the Palmers are out. I can't wait that long, said Annabelle desperately. Kate stirred in her bed then, flung her arm over the side, and murmured something Annabelle couldn't understand. Mama put her finger to her lips and shook her head. Then she pointed upstairs. Places, everyone, thought Annabelle, and she headed for her bed, since Kate had carefully tucked the dolls into bed the night before. Hours later, when the last of the Palmers had left the house, Annabelle sprang out of her bed. Okay, she called. Family meeting. Bobby and Uncle Doll and I want to tell you what we found. The dolls gathered in the kitchen. Baby Betsy propped against the icebox, her head resting just below the top. It was so exciting, Annabelle began. Do you know where Auntie Sarah is? Asked Nanny. Well, no, we don't, Uncle Doll replied grimly. But we found something fantastic, said Annabelle. We found another family of dollhouse dolls. The Fun Crafts, added Bobby. They're going to be Nora's dolls. They're in a big box now with their dream house. There's a mother and a father, a boy for Bobby, a girl for me, and a baby for baby Betsy. And a cat, said Bobby. Kitty Funcraft. But it's not alive, said Uncle Doll quickly. The Fun Crafts are a birthday present for Nora, Annabelle went on. I promised them that as soon as they've been unpacked and set up in her room, we'll visit them. All of us? Asked Nanny. My stars, I don't believe I've been out of this house in years. It will be okay, said Annabelle kindly. It would be nice to meet some of the other dolls, said Papa. If we can do it safely. We must be sure to bring them a housewarming gift, said Mama thoughtfully. I wonder what they'll need in their new home. We can't take them something that belongs here in our house, Papa reminded her. Nora will get in trouble. Maybe we can make something, said Annabelle. We'll do it secretly at night. And so the long, long hours, the hours of waiting for Nora's birthday to arrive, for her gifts to be given to her, for the dream house to be unpacked and set up in her room, were filled by secret meetings about what to make for the Fun Crafts. Finally, Nanny suggested using scraps of paper and bits of crayon that the dolls had squirreled away over the years to make a bouquet of paper flowers for the Fun Crafts. Early on the morning after Nora's birthday, the bouquet was completed. Now hide everything carefully, said Nanny, surveying the snippets of paper and shavings of crayons strewn across the kitchen table. Annabelle and Bobby cleaned up while Mama arranged the flowers and tied their stems with a bit of thread. We'll take them to the Fun Crafts tonight, said Annabelle. That evening, just minutes after Kate had closed her book and turned off her light, Annabelle thought she heard a noise from the doorway. The captain, she thought. Of all nights for him to decide to prowl, the dolls would have to wait. Yoo-hoo! Called a small voice from below the doll's house. Annabelle lay rigidly in her bed. She knew you shouldn't risk moving about yet. Yoo-hoo! Called a voice again. Down here, added another voice. Bobby, Annabelle dared to whisper. I think the Fun Crafts are here. Hush, not another word, Nanny called softly from her room. But it was too late. Annabelle could hear the sound of feet scampering up the steps of the stool. We can't just ignore them, she said. Cautiously, Annabelle slipped out of her bed. She crossed her room and tiptoed down the stairs to the second floor. Somebody has to greet them, she said before Mama or Papa could scold her. They're already on the top step. Heavenly days, said Papa. Mama said nothing. Annabelle hurried to the first floor and stood at the bottom of the staircase. There, gathered on the top step of the stool, were 5 dolls. They were unlike any dolls Annabelle had ever seen. One of them stepped forward. Hi, I'm Tiffany, she said. Annabelle looked at the light brown face with dark brown hair topped with a pink bow. The head was poised on a pink and blue dress, and stick-thin legs emerged from a pair of wide blue shoes. The doll's arms were as skinny as their legs, and she seemed to be made entirely of plastic, even her clothes. Hi, I'm Annabelle. Annabelle replied. She peered behind Tiffany. She saw 3 more dolls, all made of plastic. One was carrying a baby, which was just a small pink bundle. Bobby had crept down the stairs and was now standing behind Annabelle. "I'm Bobby," he said. "Mama and Papa aren't sure we should talk to you yet. Kate just went to sleep." "It's all right, Bobby," said Papa. He was tiptoeing bravely down the stairs, followed by Mama, Uncle Doll, and Nanny. He held his hand out toward Mom and Dad Funcraft. "Welcome, welcome," he said. Annabelle took a better look at Tiffany and saw that, in fact, everything about her was plastic. Plastic, 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 down to the pink bow, and Annabelle suspected that the bow snapped on, just as the writing on the box had said. Annabelle stopped staring and remembered her manners. "Mama, Papa, Nanny," she began, "these are the Funcrafts." "And you must be the dolls," said the man with the red tie. "I'm Dad," he added. "I'm Mom," said Mom. "I'm Bailey," said the boy with the red shoes. "And this is baby Brittany," said Tiffany. "Who takes care of the baby?" Bobby wanted to know. "Of baby Brittany? We all do," replied Bailey. "Don't you have a nanny?" "No." "And no auntie or uncle?" "No." Wanna see my train?" asked Bobby. "Okay." Bailey followed Bobby up the stairs. "Please come into our parlor," said Mama graciously to the rest of the Funcrafts. "Thank you," said Dad. "How quaint," said Mom. Annabelle took Tiffany by the hand. "Let's go into the kitchen, and so we can be by ourselves." Tiffany walked around and around the kitchen, examining everything. "Where's your microwave?" she asked. "Microwave?" asked Annabelle. "You know, where you pretend to cook your food." "You mean our stove? That's where we cook," said Annabelle, pointing. "What are those things?" "That's a potato masher, and that's an orange squeezer, and that's a whisk." "Boy, your house is different from ours." "It's over 100 years old, just like us." "Are you really over 100? Asked Tiffany incredulously. "Yes, even though Kate decided I'm 8. "Wow, I guess that's why you look so different, too." Tiffany took in the lacy sleeves of the dress, the china arms and legs, the china face, the blush on Annabelle's cheeks, and the green paint in her hair. "Was your hair always green?" she asked. "No, a long time ago, when Grandma Catherine was 6 years old, she decided to give me a new hair color, so she painted my hair green, and then her mother tried to remove it, but couldn't get it all off." "It's very punk," said Tiffany. "I like it." At that moment, Annabelle heard a small commotion outside the kitchen. She rushed to the stairway in time to see Mom Funcraft exclaim, "Oh, look! The dolls have stairs too!" Mom ran up to the landing and slid down the banister, landing smartly on the floor between Mama and Papa. Dad Funcraft smiled proudly. "She's an expert," he said. Annabelle glanced at her parents. They were peering frantically into Kate's room, searching for signs that she had awakened. "Generally," said Papa, "we refrain from making much noise for about 2 more hours, until we are certain the entire Palmer household is sound asleep." "Oh, they won't hear us," said Mom. "And if they do, we'll just hide." Annabelle saw her parents cringe. Mom and Dad Funcraft gazed around the doll's parlor. "Your furniture is so..." Mom started to say. "So old," Tiffany finished for her. "Mom, the dolls are more than 100 years old, right, Annabelle?" "Yes," said Annabelle. "Don't you have anything plastic?" asked Tiffany. Annabelle had never thought about this, but she replied quickly. "Of course we do. Mama, where's the lamp Kate's mother bought for us when she was little?" "The lava lamp?" replied Mama. "Oh, it's not here anymore. Mrs. Palmer took it out later. It didn't go with the decor." "I think a lava lamp looks nice anywhere," said Tiffany. The Funcrafts explored the rest of the house. They tested the keys on the piano. They remarked upon a 1933 edition of National Geographic that lay on a table in the parlor. Bailey tried the rocking horse in the nursery and then leaped from it onto Bobby's bed, while Mom and Dad looked on smiling. Annabelle was amazed. Finally, everyone gathered in the kitchen, where the Funcrafts had no end of questions. Tiffany was proud to be able to identify the potato masher, the orange squeezer, and the whisk for her parents. "Interesting," said Mom. "Where are your barbecue things?" asked Dad. Barbecue? Repeated Nanny. She turned to Mama and Papa and they shrugged. I guess we don't have barbecue things. What's a barbecue? Annabelle asked Tiffany. It's a grill. A gas grill. You turn it on, added Mama, and it cooks food quickly with the great taste of the outdoors. Of course, ours doesn't really work, but we have fun pretending. A barbecue, said Tiffany, is also a party, like a picnic, at which you serve the barbecued food. Picnic? Said Annabelle. We don't know what that is either. You're kidding. Our dream house came with a picnic basket. It's one of the basic items. But if you want picnic foods for the basket, you have to order separately, said Dad. My goodness, was all that Mama Doll could say. Mom Funcraft whispered something to Dad Funcraft, and then to Bailey and Tiffany, who grinned. Then she said to the dolls, would you like to come over to our house for a barbecue one night? We could have a getting to know you party. Annabelle looked hopefully at Mama, who was looking at Papa. She knew her mother was having second thoughts about visiting the Funcrafts now that she had met them. Well, said Mama finally, all right. Yes, thought Annabelle. How about tomorrow night? Tomorrow night? Oh, I don't think. Please come, said Mom. We'll have a wonderful party. Don't you want to see our house, Mrs. Doll? We have a computer and a VCR, added Dad. Also a patio, said Bailey. That's where we'll have the barbecue. Well, said Mama helplessly. Oh, please, Mama, said Annabelle. We made them the, you know what. Please? Very well, Mama said to Mom Funcraft. Thank you. Fantastic, exclaimed Mom. We'll see you tomorrow night. The Funcrafts turned to leave. See you, Tiffany called as she and her family slid down the steps of the stool. Bye, replied Annabelle. She looked at her parents. They were staring at each other in disbelief. To think, said Nanny, that we've gone all these years without a single neighbor, and then we end up with such unusual ones. I suppose we must give them a chance, said Mama cautiously. But they're so raucous, said Papa. Still, they are our neighbors, said Mama. True, said Uncle Doll. And we must be neighborly. They don't seem like bad people, added Nanny. No, agreed Papa, just different. There's nothing wrong with being different, said Mama. I like them, declared Annabelle. I can't wait for tomorrow night.